Kent, my man, out of all the years you've been traveling with Mason, what is your favorite story with your mans in the BMX world and in the martial arts world?
Hey Dill, thanks for the question. It may not be the best story, but I think my favorite story I like to tell from martial arts is we were sparring and fighting and going at it pretty good, and Mason hits me with a sweet spinning back kick, dislocates my shoulder, and
that was
then
your fault.
I should have had better defense. He says it was my fault. Okay, fine. It was a nice shot, and I had to put my shoulder back in front of everybody. Not the first time I've had to do that, BMX or otherwise.
I did help you.
You did help. You were helpful. Not the first time you've helped me put my shoulder back in either.
Probably should have been though.
We'll see. There'll be another time, I'm sure.
Hope not.
For favorite trips in BMX, my favorite one I like to think about, and that probably means the most to me, and I think about the most often, is whatever the next one is. Whenever we can hit the road again, and whenever we can keep doing what we're doing. Mason and I know that we're lucky. Usually if you're a dad, if your son's able to shred, you're too old and can't do it anymore, or if you're still young enough and able to shred and go on trips, your kid's too young or too little to do it. So we know what we got is special, and we're gonna keep it going. So yeah, my favorite story, my favorite BMX trip is whatever the next one is with Mason.
That's a good answer.
Thanks, Dill.
Yo, Kent. This is probably one of the only times you'll see me in a button-up shirt, just a heads up. Got a question for you on your transition from flat ramp, street and park, to specifically ramp, street and park. So when did you decide to kind of put flatland on the back burner? Because I know that's where your roots lie. Let me know.
Hey Matt, man, that's a good looking button up, or at least on you it is. So for flatland, I came up riding everything, and I always had ramp, flat, street, dirt, everything I could ride. It was all BMX to me. At one point I broke my wrist, scaphoid bone, just like most BMXers on the planet. Didn't realize it was broke, tried to keep riding. A couple weeks later, had another crash, didn't want to put the hands out because of the wrist being hurt. Ended up tearing up a knee in that crash and having to have a meniscus surgery, one of many. At that point, once I came back from the knee surgery, I was able to brace the wrist up so I could ride ramp and street, hold it straight, really just sturdy and braced up. But I wasn't able to hold myself up on flatland. A lot of my flat was based on my wrist movement, all of my weight being on my wrist, a lot of body varials and tricks where I was keeping my body up on my wrist. And it was never the same again, which kept me from riding flatland at the level that I'd always wanted my flatland to be. So during that time, I really found myself in ramp and street riding, especially with my brakes and the flatland influence and the tech side of things. That was really where I found my groove, fell in love with it, felt like that's where I could create the most, and never looked back, and I've been doing that ever since.
Hey Kent, what I want to know is what year did you start riding? How long have you been at it? And have you ever taken any breaks, or have you pretty much just shredded straight through all of these years?
Hey Shane, I started when I was 13. I've been riding for 38 years now. Yeah, that's no breaks. The only breaks was either from injuries or recovery from surgeries or whatever, that kind of thing, but no breaks on purpose. So straight through, 38 years. So BMX is my life's work. I'm not slowing down anytime soon, I can promise you that. There's a Batman quote that goes with it, that someday I'll have to slow down or I won't be able to do it anymore, but that day isn't today, and it won't be tomorrow either.
So Kent, I would like to know, what is your current favorite song and why?
Hey Mark, I had to refer to my playlist to see what I'd been listening to the most, and right now it's a tie between two. Kill Bill from Big Boy and Killer Mike, and Run the Jewels, Legend Has It. Shout out to LP and Killer Mike.
Oh, hey Kent, what's up? So what was the first trick after your heart procedure that you knew that you were back, like you're really back into riding? Hit me.
Degroot. Oh, hey man. See what I did there? So after my heart surgery, after the procedure, there wasn't one specific trick that I remember that made me feel like I was back or like I'd gotten full recovery and ready to go again. But I do remember a specific week where I felt like I was starting to create again. I was mixing up the combinations, I was doing new things, I was trying to invent stuff. And I remember thinking that week, if I can create, if I can invent, that means I'm back to normal and it's no looking back. It's time to get after it. It's go time. So that one specific week, not a specific trick, but being able to invent and create again, that's when I knew it was time to go again. Time to get after it. Thanks for the question, dude.